Okay, everybody. Just double checking some things here
Good morning. Welcome.
for Saturday. It is Saturday, right?
Yes.
It's Saturday morning.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to do like just a quick. Well, quick. I don't know how quick it'll be. We talk a lot.
It's going to be quick.
It's going to be quick. So
Stay on point. Stay on point.
stay on point. Keep it tight. Keep it tight. Um,
Yep.
although I'm doing a horrible job right now keeping it
Yes,
tight.
you are.
Okay, well I got to do something.
Well, we were supposed to checking if everybody could see
Yeah.
us.
Okay, so I want to do a few things, because a lot of people here don't really know a whole lot about what we do. They just like join Facebook groups.
If it's your hobby and join Facebook groups, then why are you here?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, a lot of this is like, how to make more sales, have more success without working longer, without grinding your life away. I mean, it's just like, and a lot of success trainers.
It's 10x it. Do more. Work harder. We're so not into working that much harder.
No.
You have to work. But there has to be a way to make more money, build a client base without just every time you need to make more, working harder, working longer hours. And that's what we teach.
Yeah, let me give you some like nightmare scenarios that we've had in the past. Okay, so we have one guy who's in real estate. Nice guy. I love him to death, all right? But he was spending 6 hours a day down in his basement making cold calls. Now, admittedly, they had a ton of leads. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, but after 20 years or so in the business, you shouldn't still be sitting in the basement making cold calls. All right. And that's what I mean. And you get this advice. I go, to these other sales sites and motivational stuff. And and the audacity of some of these people, they're like, you must just not really want it that hard. I'm like,
I would never tell a client that.
No.
Most of my clients,
everybody wants it or they wouldn't be a damn client.
Well, they want it.
Yeah.
I know you want to perform better, to do better in your career. And the thing is, maybe you don't know why you're not doing better, or you have a kid and you can't spend 20 hours a day, and that's ridiculous anyway. So if you're here, you want to do better and you want to do it more efficiently, more effectively, with the skills as opposed to just doing more of what you're already doing. Because if it was just doing more of what you're already doing, you wouldn't need us, right? You wouldn't be here on our group. So I know that you want it, and I know that you're ready to improve your sales and improve your life.
Yeah, and it's the bizarre part about this is the whole concept of just keeping doing the same thing with more effort just never made any sense to me. But maybe that's why.
That's why you're not teaching it,
I'm
right?
not. Okay. That's why we're teaching it. I'm not teaching. Just try harder. Okay, so
today we're going to talk about a few things, right? We're going to talk about mindset, skills, strategies, and then there's just going to be some relationship building. So those are some of the areas that people have issues in, need to work on, and that you need to improve your sales, improve your performance.
Yeah. What she said.
Okay. So number one, we're going to talk about mindset problems, right?
Well, it's really interesting. It all falls into like, the 4 categories you said. All right. Whatever it was.
Well, 3 categories and one that's mixed in.
One is kind of mixed in.
Ahead, yeah.
All right. Basically, a lot of these things that people give you strategies and stuff like that, it's like you're drowning, you're going underwater, you're looking up, you see the bubbles, and some idiot.
I don't like that thought. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Some idiot screams from a boat, swim better. Okay.
That's not what we do.
Huh?
Let's talk about what
That's not what we do.
Okay.
But that's it, like,
so talk about
what we do, look, we're going to break it down into 3 simple, really simple concepts that you just need to have to understand if you want to get from point A to point B. Okay. I mean, here's, you got point A. You want to be here. Some people aren't sure where here is, by the way, and that's totally okay. All right. You just want to like make some progress towards we'll call it somewhere over the rainbow. Where's skies? Oh, never mind, I stopped.
And sometimes
All right.
one is not the for the final goal. So it's getting out of where you're at.
Yeah, and
Which is
all right.
fine.
So when you think about that, all right, you think about getting here. Well, you need to have a foundation to get there. Okay, and it's not go read more books.
Oh God.
Okay.
Don't read any more books. Well, that's not true, but
No, it's like at some point.
Everything.
But it's a combination of things. Okay, we had a guy, okay, who was like in the bonus section of the last Winter Circle seminar. But he asked us the question about coaching. He said, what about accountability? And he's like, well, I said, what's accountability? So, well, this guy's going to call me up every week and ask me if I said did the calls. And I said, what's he going to do if you didn't do it? He said, well, he's going to yell at me.
He's going to berate me. Yeah.
Oh, he's going to berate me. Yeah, he's a better word. Some people have a much better vocabulary than me. But yeah, he's going to berate me. Okay, Okay, I ain't going to pay you to yell at me. I get that for free. All right, I don't need. Okay.
Well, I mean, the thing that we found in doing coaching and working with clients through the years, and even with your customers, it doesn't work.
No.
It makes people upset. It makes them in the moment. But all that they do is avoid the person yelling at them.
Yeah, so what do you need? Because we're very clear on what you don't need. All right. What do you need? You need mindset. Okay. Mindset. If you can't help somebody, and mindset, by the way, is not just telling somebody you need to think differently. Okay. Mindset is actually teaching you how to get out of your mindset and into a new mindset by giving you the tools to get there.
Right.
Okay. I mean, because look,
mindset's not just pumping you up, making you feel excited for the moment. Mindset is a shift in how you view things.
Yeah.
That is part of what we do. Why? Because we found that a lot of times it's not a skills deficit. Of course, there are always more skills and always more strategies, and we teach that.
Yeah.
But as we taught those, we realized that a lot of people couldn't accomplish these things without a mindset shift because their mind wasn't in the right place. They were fearful, afraid of approaching people, afraid of failure. There are all sorts of things that are mindset issues that we deal with every day. Yeah.
And the reality is this, okay? When we get to this, is the mindset is where you plant good ideas, okay? All right, if you don't have the right mindset, it's like taking all of these skills and all this stuff and all the books and trying to like plant grass in a parking lot, okay, on asphalt. It's just not going to go in. It'll go in some of the cracks, because I've seen that. All right, but as far as having a lawn goes, it's not going to work that well. But you get the idea, okay? That mindset, all right, is basically once you have that, then the skills, now you have a way to apply the skills. And it's funny. It was it's like, the problem people have, okay? They hesitate on phone calls. They don't follow up. They don't take chances. There's an opportunity and they hesitate, okay? They just don't move. So when that happens, okay, you don't need somebody to yell at you and go, well, you just need to try 10x, okay? Or you need to grind it out. You need to spend more hours. Because believe it or not, there are a finite amount of hours in the week. And if you use all of them.
Until he told me.
I know. Well, she's not real good at math. She's. Yeah. Okay, maybe a little better at math than I am.
A little.
All right.
So anyway, that broke my steak. Okay. So yes. So a lot of times people say, okay, you're not the right state. You need to make phone calls. You need to pump yourself up.
You got your mic on because they're saying you don't.
Yes, I do. But I don't have a mic on? Okay. Am I not showing up on there? Yeah, no, I'm not. What happened?
Hold on, folks.
That one's not showing. One's showing green, one's not.
I can't see.
It's on mute.
Oh, well, that'll make a difference. So anyway.
How did it get on mute?
God, in real life, if I could just have that.
Who put it on mute?
I have no clue.
we did a video a test, and I didn't touch it, Tom. All right.
Anyway.
So anyway,
so
thank you guys. Sorry about that. So I guess you haven't heard anything I said.
No, they heard everything. They just said the sound was lower.
Okay.
All
So mindset, what is it that we're told, right? If we don't have if we're hesitating to make a call, we're sitting there and going, oh, I don't know. I need to talk to clients. I need to do this, blah, 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 blah. Right? So we're told, get excited, pump it up, just do it. Now, granted, yeah, that works for a moment, right? And the thing is that you might go make a call. There are some issues with that, though, which we go talk about at another time, such as you're really not in a very good thinking state to deal with people or talk to them or listen at that point. But the problem with that mindset is what you really need to do. What are you afraid of, right? Why do people, what?
I'm looking at some of the comments.
Oh, okay. Or focus on the screen. So anyway,
That's not possible.
I know.
You see me drive. Look, cow. Change lanes.
Anyway, the point being that the mindset issue with that is, it's not that if we thought that every call would go wonderfully, and we talked with clients about this ad infinitum, right? If you thought every call would go wonderfully, if you thought you'd get every sale, if you thought everybody would be nice to you, would you be afraid of making the call? Would you be afraid of going to see the client? Would you be afraid of going and dealing with that person? And the answer is no. What the mindset problem we have to deal with is the mindset of being afraid of what's going to happen that's bad. You're going to lose a sale. Someone's going to be mean to you. Someone's going to hang up on you. The call is not going to go so well. And the fact of the matter is, in this world,
all that shit's going to happen.
It is. You know what? You cannot insulate yourself against it. You can't change it. It is going to happen. So the mindset shift that we always make with clients is to make it so it doesn't affect you so much, right? Because having that mindset, it's like things are going to go wrong, and that's okay. And when that person yells at me, it's not personal. Now, we teach you how to do this, right? But the real mindset...
No, we don't just go...
We don't just go do it, right?
Better.
No, we don't. We teach you how to change this, and we have with multiple clients. I had a client recently, and I'll give you an example, in California, and he's a contractor, and his main thing was having to deal... He really was afraid of talking to people. Now, recently, his business has been exploding. A lot of contractors have, but all on referrals. And why is this? Because he has been working on being able to deal with it when things go poorly. Right? So by doing that, he has been able to 10x his connections with his clients and been able to get a referral network, which is amazing, just amazing.
Well,
and I'm so happy for him.
The transition in his business was this. He went from looking into the calendar and not seeing a whole lot of things set up, and having to work jobs he didn't particularly want to work.
Yeah.
I mean, he could keep busy, but it was doing work that was like, cheap and not what he wanted to do with customers he didn't want to deal with.
Right.
Now he's getting referrals because, oh, shit, people like him. Okay?
And believe it or not,
and they like him, they want to refer him, and they want their friends to use him.
And just to give you an idea of the kind of shift it is, this is a person who has decided the kind of person he wants to work with likes good work, doesn't mind paying a little more for it, is kind of picky because he likes doing good work. And that's his niche. That's the kind of client he wants to deal with. Now, I don't think he's completely there yet on getting all that.
But the improvement has been massive.
There's been a move in that direction.
In the mindset.
In the last few months.
He's not, and getting.
There have been other mindset shifts too.
But it was like just the mindset that, it's okay if someone doesn't like me. I'm not going to fall apart. I'm not going to die. I'll live through. It's like
it's okay if I don't make that sale.
It's okay if I don't make that sale.
Maybe I don't even want it.
Even better. It's okay if I decide I don't want that client.
Yeah.
Which is a huge shift. Okay, huge. It was huge. It was huge.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's look, the mindset's not everything. But it's the first thing, okay? If you don't have the mindset, we can hammer skills into you all day long. We can tell you what to do. We can tell you what to say. And at the end of the day, you'll sit there staring at whatever opportunity is in front of you and not doing anything.
You change the mindset, then you add the strategy that's layered with the skills inside of it. And it just is amazing. And it gets great results. And we did, and that's what we do.
Okay, so now, I want to get to the relationships, okay? Relationships. Okay,
Don't touch
that
me.
didn't work. Don't touch me. All right. And that's how you don't do it. All right, so.
Don't do that to your clients. It is bad. Really
No.
frowned upon in today's society.
They will cancel your ass like that. So anyway. All right. Relationships. No, it's really, really interesting. And, building relationships is really funny because I'm going to say something that's completely 100% counterintuitive. And that is relationships are not about people liking you. Okay. It's completely backwards thinking. Okay. Because I have a lot of people I like that I certainly wouldn't do business with. Or I've got a lot of people that I don't particularly like that I do business with because it's not that I don't like them.
Well, it's not that. That's not what he's saying. Okay.
Okay. Tell me what I'm saying.
What he's saying is this. Okay. Relationships, right? We always think of relationships, but we fail to differentiate between the different kinds of relationships. Just because I'm your buddy doesn't mean you're going to buy from me, right? You might like me. You should like me. If you want to do business with someone, really, they should like you because then they want to refer you. But all relationships are different. You need to build the right relationship with your client. The relationship you build with a client is different than with your best friend.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I mean, think about this. Okay. Just.
And it is the basis of working less, by the way.
Yeah. And if you think about, your client, what does your client actually need?
Mhm.
Okay. Your client needs expertise,
Mm-hmm.
leadership, guidance, understanding. They don't need, someone to go out to dinner with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because they've got those. All right.
Yeah,
You need, those are the things. And if you know how to come across with those qualities, which is what we teach in the members area, by the way, but as you come across with those qualities, then you're going to have a really powerful connection with them.
Yes.
Okay. Let me give you an example because he's here. Norm is here.
Oh, he is?
I'm going to mention Norm.
Oh, we can say his name now that he's retired.
I know.
Yes.
Now he.
The best testimonial we could never use.
I know. It's like.
Still only first names.
All right. So anyway, working with Norm, and I can say this because he's told this in front of rooms full of people. It doesn't really matter. But, Norm was like the most informed guy that nobody particularly liked.
He didn't have many clients.
Okay. And that's hard to believe.
Yeah. And that he's so nice now.
For those of you who have met him, who's been to our seminars and stuff, it's really hard to believe.
Mm-hmm.
And
the funny thing is, it goes in two ways in relationships because Norm had 2 relationship revolutions in his business. The first one was Norm. Well, we teach a lot about rapport, right? So Norm's idea of how to do it was go be the expert and tell your client what to do. And damn it, they better do it because he's the expert and they better listen.
Funniest thing Norm ever said when he was explaining how he used to be was they should listen to me. I'm the expert. Okay.
Good luck with that, by the way.
Yeah. That didn't
Not
work.
how it works.
It didn't work. You can be the best at what you do and not have a growing business.
Okay.
All right.
So the first thing he did was embrace the rapport skills we teach, which teach to vary the kind of rapport you have. Granted, you are the expert and at points in your sales and at points in dealing with your client, that is going to be your position. But it certainly is not your position when you're selling initially because people don't know you. They don't know what you, and they don't know anything about these degrees, right? So
he had a wall of stuff that nobody cared about.
That people went, yeah, whatever. So anyway, so you have to manipulate your position of rapport, which is how we do this, and during the whole process. So Norm got home from a trip from buying the tapes and listening to them as he drove. And he went into his client, and I know I'm not saying this exactly correctly, but he went into a client who actually had hired him because he knows what he's doing. And as the client left after the meeting, he said, I used to work with you because you're good at what you do, but now I like you. Whatever you're doing, keep it up. And then after the client left, his secretary said the same thing. She said, I don't know what you did in North Carolina,
but you keep doing it.
But keep doing it, right? So that was the first relationship evolution he had
Mhm.
was dealing with the clients he had and getting them to be people who liked him and would probably feel a lot more comfortable referring him. The second one was his ability to build relationships and form a network
Mhm.
of referrals. So he did less work, but people sent clients his
Mhm.
way, which is honestly what every good salesperson wants. If you're a
Mhm.
financial planner, if you're a real estate agent, if you're an insurance agent, if you're
If you're a manager, now let me say something because Leo got into this. Like, I don't really sell stuff. It's like you do, you just don't sell. See, there's sales and then there's double sales.
yeah. No,
It's a
he says,
thing.
well,
I mean,
no.
you're always, if you want, influence, you want to get ahead, even if you're not really selling.
Mhm.
Okay, I mean, our main client base now is people who sell on HCI, but but if you want to manage people,
Mhm.
we took a guy in England who is running this company where nobody was listening to him. I mean, they listened eventually, but they had the opinion. His supervisors all figured that they ran the place and he was the owner.
Mhm.
All right. And when we taught him how to use influence and persuasion to
Mhm.
manage his company, okay, the sales, and I'm talking not a little bit of sales, I'm not talking you go from 100 to 200. He went from several million to several more $1 million a
Mhm.
year in profit
I know.
and tens of millions in
We should have asked for a
sales.
percentage of his company.
Yeah, we screwed that
We
one
screwed up
up.
bad.
We screwed that one up.
So and
It's
the,
okay.
it was the most interesting thing. I was talking to a lady in San Francisco, a woman. I'm walking down the street. Of course, I start talking to somebody, right? And she lived there,
Mhm.
and we end up connecting on LinkedIn because she said she was high up in some bank and I forget what mortgage area. I can't remember. I have to look. And I started talking about sales and what we do. And that's when she wanted to connect with me. She said, the hardest thing to convince people of who work under me is we're all in sales. At every level of the game, at every level in this process, we are all in sales. And that's the hardest thing for me to convince the other people of who work
It's
for
funny,
me.
because even in sales,
Mhm.
this is like a little sidebar. We'll get back to what we're talking about in a minute.
Yeah.
Even in sales, the hardest client base that I've ever had to deal with to convince them that they were actually in sales
Real
are
estate
real
agents.
estate agents.
They want to be tour guides.
They want to be tour guides. They want to be a real estate professional that that people have to use, and you kind of have to use them anyway, even if you
Mhm.
don't want to. But the real estate professionals are my biggest problem because
Mhm.
they just don't want to be salespeople. They want to show people enough houses until people find the house they like and then write a contract.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me tell you this, okay? And just as a side, I'll use them in a minute, okay? So our buddy Dylan, I see him as a buddy now because he invited us to his wedding, so now we're friends. But okay, last month, I'm going to tell you something. When we started Dylan in coaching, he was selling like $6,000 a month in insurance policies, okay? Last month, he switched to real estate using what we do,
Mhm.
what we teach. Last month, he closed $4.5 million in real estate closings. Okay. All right. And I, because I always check. It's like, are you just like doing magic stuff? And he goes, yeah, I'm using your stuff. And I'm like, well, I guess it is kind of magic. I'm going with that. But he's like, oh yeah, I use the report. I get like at least one email a week from him telling me that you should see how I anchored this agent so that their client would take my,
Mhm.
would take my offer. You should see how I anchored this guy, how he got these people to actually do things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the interesting
But he's using the skills every day.
Yeah.
And okay. I don't know what the exact commission
Look
cut
how
is.
excited you are.
I am.
You love this stuff.
I can't
He
help myself.
loves this stuff. Now,
Okay.
and the funny thing is, you sit there and it's like the first time we were on a coaching call with Dylan, and I just looked straight at him and I said, and he's talking about his strategy, blah, blah, blah. This is before he did really well. And I said, well, what are you doing to keep in contact with your current clients? And he goes, dead silence, sat and stared at me over the computer.
Didn't understand that referrals are the base of every successful business.
Yes. So from that, we proceeded to help teach him to build relationships, build a client base. And he did well in insurance before he decided he didn't like it.
Yeah.
And then because it is a hard business, it's not, nobody really wants to buy insurance. And
I
it's,
can
so it's not
imagine.
hard to sell it. It's just hard to like
But
selling it.
he is absolutely killing it.
And he's in
estate.
real estate because he loves selling people things that they want, right?
Yeah.
So so it's all about relationship building, strategies, and sales.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and
So-
skills.
We talked
Yes.
about the skills. Okay. So, and we've got videos, some of these, some of the videos in the winter circle area that you might be interested in is like, how to know when they're really ready to say yes, cracking the code to meeting people.
Reading people,
There's
yeah.
a really great one in there.
Expanding your sphere of influence.
Expanding your sphere of influence. How to use, the skills we teach, the rapport and
Mhm.
anchoring and the strategies to, even if you have just a very small sphere of influence, how to let that grow, okay? And how to, have the mindset to take the next step to go do things like that. I mean, you don't have to be Norm who goes out and walks into a business he's never been anywhere with a box of donuts and says, "You guys look like you're working hard. Here, take these."
But you could.
Okay. Donut strategy from hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
With its target market.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I don't know if you guys understand. Some of you guys who are our clients, some of you guys who are in our members area, some of you guys totally get it. You understand everything. But, all of this stuff reduces the amount of time you have to actually work. Okay. When I think of one of our clients, several of our salespeople were using hour-long presentations that they cut down to sell $5,000 and $10,000 products. And they cut their presentations down to 30 minutes or so. And boom, they're making more money, less time, take a day off, go spend one with the kids, go have some fun, go outside.
And you can use all the same things. It's like, it is selling yourself, right? Every business, every time, anybody who has to deal with other people, with clients, with employees, with coworkers, with your boss, it's all about selling yourself and using these skills to do so. If you look at any business, it is about relationship building. It is about using skills to influence people, to nudge them in the direction you would like them to go. So it's not all about fighting everybody all the time to be heard, to be acknowledged.
And I mean, just understanding rapport and relationships and just
so
takes you right
just
there.
keep in mind, everything is about, every job we have that we deal with people is about sales. And these skills are applicable, and we'll be addressing questions. But anyway, so next one.
All right, so I want to talk a minute about probably the most powerful skill that we teach. It's called anchoring. I don't know why, but it is. Okay, but anchoring is very simple. I take good feeling, I attach it to a button, and I can hit that button, the good feeling comes up anytime I want.
Yes.
All right.
So it's really using a push button to attach good feelings to what you want them to attach to. If you need someone to do something and you have an anchor, say, you can attach that good feeling to doing something for you, right? So not only will the person do it because they might feel obliged or they have to, or whatever reason.
Or they have like an overwhelming need, or you're giving them such a low price they have to.
On the other hand, it builds in a little bit of a desire to do it, to feel good about doing it for you, right? So an anchoring is a very powerful tool that layers in with strategies and rapport and all the other skills and complements them. And it's like it's a punctuation to persuasion, right? Throughout the process, you're using strategies and rapport, and anchoring is the punctuation where you make that pop to make the connection between what you want, and what you want them to do or what you need to be done.
And the whole premise of this is really, really simple, okay? People make emotional decisions. Nobody makes a decision on logic. If they do that, they're just using logic to lie about the emotion to make the decision about logic, all right?
When we were having a house, resided, and we have a roofing guy who deals well with insurance companies. They deal well with insurance companies. We love him. I couldn't use him for a couple things because really their price is for only dealing with insurance companies. That's what they do. But I felt bad about it. Okay? Hear that. I felt bad about not paying him more to do a job, because it wasn't just a little bit more, it was a lot more.
Mhm.
And he knows that they can only do jobs that insurance is paying for. But think about being that, if you're that guy, and no matter what realm you're in,
Mhm.
you have, if you're in sales, if you're working in the government, if you're anywhere else, someone feeling bad about not being able to do things for
Yeah.
you. Which,
I mean,
why would they? I had no obligation to them.
Mhm.
It's my money. It's my house. There are other salespeople out there, like companies that are just as good, that are like just as well, and I felt guilty.
Yeah.
Right? Think about someone being able to use anchoring and rapport to have people have that kind of connection to
Yeah.
you.
So the emotion pushes decision.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, an example of this is our buddy Scott. Okay. And it's funny though. It's like most of our clients that really do well, we actually do end up with being friends with them,
Mhm.
outside of our business. But he sold a $540,000 contract. They actually made a YouTube video of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. In 30 seconds. 30 seconds. And here's how he did it. Okay. So before the presentation, he goes up and he talks to each one, because it's like a panel of seven.
Oh, he didn't
5 or
even
7
talk to
people.
all of them.
Yeah. Okay. But
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The crux of it is he talked to these people.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And he said hello, got them to smile. When they smiled and felt good, he set a trigger on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nothing much, not overwhelming, not,
Mm-mm.
hey, have you ever seen the best thing you've ever seen in your entire life?
It doesn't
Yeah,
have to
boom.
be, and it doesn't take long.
Okay. He did this with 4 out of the 5 people. Okay. Now, just as kind of a little backstory, everybody else who was presenting that day was getting their budget cut.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All the other presenters, because it was like a government thing.
It was a
But,
grant.
they were all getting, they were asking for hundreds of thousands, and they were getting thousands. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Scott gets up there. This is little thing, blah, 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 blah. And he says that everybody who just thinks that this is a really great idea, raise their hand. And he hit the button, and all 4 of the people that he talked to raised their hand.
Mm-hmm.
How? It's a subconscious response. Yes. And, by the way, he also does a very good job, so it's okay. So, but you get the idea. Okay. 4 out of the 5, the only person who didn't raise their hand was the person that Scott didn't talk to.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's true. I'm not sure. Scott will correct me if it is. Okay.
Either way, amazing, really
Mhm.
effective, really quick.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Okay.
It worked. That's the important part. It
Well,
worked.
I don't want to keep this running too long, but
Yeah.
the last thing we're going to get down to is strategies. I'm just going to strategies. I'm not even going to bother wasting time spelling. All right.
So that was all about skills then.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So strategies. Now, the cool part about this is, okay, wait a minute, I have a thing for that. Wait, I got to
crap.
be professional and do this. Okay.
Mm.
So strategies. So now just imagine that you have this mindset and you have the skills to create relationships and generate emotional triggers. You want to plug that into the same lame script you showed up with that wasn't working when you were talking to people, or the same ways you were trying to manage people, or the same ways you were trying to get jobs, or, the same old way you tried to negotiate on a car, which works really well, by the way. You anchor them to wanting you to be the one who buys the car. All right. But, okay. No, you want strategies that are tailored to fit these mindsets, these skills. All right. And when you have the strategies that take advantage, now we have, for some, businesses aren't particularly flexible. We have taken this stuff and kind of tailored it for a presentation that someone was forced to give. But for the most part, the strategies that we have there, okay, that plug into these skills, make all of this stuff a no-brainer. Okay, I don't even why you're even thinking about it. It's just like boom, 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 and the results are this. When you have this whole package, okay. So we just got an email or a message on it was actually on persuasion codes from Sean, okay, and Sean took over management of a health club that had been in business for a couple of years, okay, and it was failing. They needed like 183 people to break even or start turning a profit, and they had like 120 members. All right, their closing weight was something around 16%. the salespeople there were all miserable. Now he's a manager; he's not even in sales. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, basically, the guy was about 3 or 4 months from going out of business. The guy that he worked for.
I think he was going to his savings to keep the club afloat.
Yeah, he was burning through his savings to keep the club going. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, he's been on here. He'd probably come on to this if he wanted to. But if I remember correctly, he had been following us, and then just in February, joined the members area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He invested all of his money in his wallet, $29 maybe. But I mean, all right, in the members area. All right, now figure February. So February, March, April, May, 3 months. 3 months he's been in the members area. I've never talked to this guy. I mean, other than back and forth. No personal coaching. Never been to a seminar. Okay. Nothing. Just using what's in the members area on his own. All right. Even before we do what we're going to do over the next 3 months and make it a lot better.
Yeah. More interaction.
Yeah. More interaction, more organization, more leadership. Okay. All of a sudden, the closing rate that his salespeople are getting. I mean, basically, he took what we did, he rewrote their sales process, taught them about anchoring and emotional triggering, was upfront and honest, which is really, really interesting because before they were selling, they never told people it was a 3-month commitment. They just
really?
It was a surprise.
Wow.
Okay, and so that it's really sneaky, but. The result is they're up to 200 and something members. The salespeople are happier because they're not using the same old lame fitness center horrible shit.
Tactics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No other.
The same unethical
technical
tactics.
Scientific terms.
The unethical tactics.
Yeah, unethical stuff. They try to move them out of the process. Okay.
Right.
Now, he's done nothing with us personally. Just the stuff in the members area. All right, now,
Wow. I mean, honestly,
I was like,
I was floored when I found out 2 days ago this was happening.
Things. I would make me so happy. I read it like 10 times. Okay, I love it when people succeed.
Yeah.
I love getting emails from Dylan. Before
I'll tell you what,
retired,
it's what keeps us going.
A hobo.
Your success is what keeps us going.
Yeah. I mean, wow. I mean, it's like, our goal, our mission, our job is to make sure that you get from point A to point B. The whole idea behind closing the membership registration down and leaving it closed for 3 months and revamping everything is so that we can do that better. Okay.
So we can go down a path with you and help you personally, help you in the group personally move forward. We want to change this from videos, which people look at, to guidance.
Yes.
To guidance down a path, right?
Don't get me wrong. Having 100 videos in there.
It's great.
It's great. But the problem was.
And you'll still have that.
Yeah, it'll still be there.
Yeah.
The problem was that,
it's confusing. It's overwhelming.
It's very overwhelming. And the most common email I got was like, where do I start? So we're layering that in. We're layering in more weekly interaction. We're layering in more community because we want to make it more community based. Yeah. And we really, really want to get people involved who want to get involved. Look, and let me tell you something. All right. If just a little side note, okay. If you're somebody who gets in there and just is going to, watch 100 videos and, and not participate and not do, we're going to put in, drills and exercises and weekly challenges and stuff like that. If you're the person who's not going to do that, then do not bother joining. Well, Clyde's in here. Clyde could tell you a story too about it.
And especially, yes, he could. And especially, I think in the next 3 months, we'll probably have even more interaction than we will after that. Because we'll be building, figuring out exactly what you guys need for guidance.
Yeah.
Which means we'll be there.
What we need is
weekly.
In the past week, we've had, over 50 or 60 people jump in on the members area. New people who, are excited about the direction we're going. And, also the ability to get feedback from you to let us know what we need to build, because we're going to,
Right.
we've already invested a ton of money in what we're doing, and we're going to invest a ton more.
Yeah.
Because we really want the quality to go through the roof.
And keep in mind, after this, the price will go up.
Yes.
This level of interaction at $29 a month is fantastic. And after the 3 months with whoever's in the members area now, the price will be higher when we open it up. It just will. It has to be.
Yeah.
Right? So what are you looking at? He's looking at something.
Yeah,
I'm
that's me.
confused. Okay.
I will even put up the link. Look, the reality is this. Here's the situation. All right. Okay. And honestly, if $29 a month is too big an investment for your entire life, don't join. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want. Okay. It's $29 a month. All right. These people, these success stories that we've talked to you about are people who invested minuscule amounts of money to make tens and sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. All right. Working with us, working with the Gold members area. Some of them came to trainings. Okay. If you can, if $29 a month is not enough money for you to invest, don't worry about it, because in September, it's going to be between 50 and 100. And if that makes you more motivated to do something, don't join now. Wait till September when we raise the price. Okay. And because believe me, in September, it's only going to be open for another 7 days. We're going to close the sucker back up. Okay.
It is true.
It's going to have the opportunity. So what I'm going to do until Monday at midnight, go to that site. If any of you have any problem counting, there's a counter on that page. All right. Get in there for your $29. All right. If you hate it, quit in 30 days. But let me tell you this. If you just have one small success, if you make, like Dylan, if he just had made one more sale, because Dylan's stuff is like in the first 3 months or so, tripled his income, easy. Ended up somewhere, by the way, around $50,000 or $60,000 a month in sales, and then walked away. Why? He had the mindset that he could do stuff. That's what he did. All right. And, get in there and join. Okay. Look, there's nothing more important to us than your success. And, this is not a $400 a month site. This is amazing information that you'll get for this amount of money. All right. And it's to take money off of the table. Okay. Because let's say if we say we were charging $100 or $200 a month, it doesn't matter. This kind of information will make a difference in your life. All right.
I mean,
beyond what you can imagine.
Exactly. True. Very true. So today we talked about mindset, skills, strategies, and relationships. So let's make it really clear. The way we do things is so you have to work less, but do it better. Be more efficient, be more effective in an ethical way, because you don't build relationships by screwing people over.
No,
okay?
Or being manipulative.
Yeah.
And not delivering. You can be manipulative and deliver. That's a whole different thing.
So, all right. But so anyway, the point being that by building relationships, building a client base, building long-term clients, or long-term relationships with people in whatever business you're in, so you don't have to work harder every time you need to get something done. Anchoring, rapport, persuasion, nudging people in a direction. They're already on a path. They're going in a direction. I'd rather someone buy from someone who's like me, who's ethical, who's selling a good product and building relationships with long-term relationships with clients. And that's why we want that kind of person who I hope is you here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, honest, nothing we'd like better than for you to be one of these success stories. All right.
Yeah.
I love them. I mean, and I don't go out and ask for them either. I mean, these people are just emailing us and posting on the list and stuff like that. So here's what I want to do. Okay. We have, look, I can actually check. I'm 2 days and some kind of many hours left till midnight. All right. But get in there and get your membership. Okay.
Yep.
We're going to close it down. And then we're closing it down for a very simple reason. The people who have just joined, we want to take that group and move them down a success path. Okay. When you join, you'll be on a success path. All right. And you'll be going with a whole group of other people who just joined. And that'll last 2 or 3. And we're just, to be honest, the reason the price has not gone up already is that we were just kind of creating this. With your feedback, we're going to, make it better for the next round. who have to pay like a buttload more money.
Let's not downplay the people who are already here too, because not only will we be on the group, but people who have had success with what we're doing
Mm-hmm.
are a resource as well. And there are many of them still in the group. And yes, a bunch of new people going down the same path you are at the same time you are, and to bounce off of each other and work with and work together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in a nutshell, if you're the kind of person who, like us, is someone who wants to build relationships, improve your life, improve your sales, improve your effectiveness. And if this is the kind of group that seems to fit for you, if it's the right fit, then join us on the Gold Members and on this path, on this journey in the next 3 months, which is a journey for us as well, because we haven't done it this way
It's going to be
before.
awesome, by the way.
And I'm pretty excited because the interaction just feeds me. I love the interaction. I love helping people. I love coaching. So if this is the right fit for you, join us.
Yeah. Look. If you want to get there, okay? Just go in and join.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we're going to sign off because it's been 45
minutes. Thank you for being here.
A little longer than
it was supposed to be half an hour.
Yeah, well,
this is how you can expect your questions to be answered.
All right. So
long.
Have some fun. We'll be doing a couple more of these over the next couple of days. And if you have any feedback, feel free.
Have a good weekend.
Take care.